That'll be $8.
Day 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am C Mac. On the left of me, I have my brother. I beat the boy C Mac, and on the right of me, I got the one, the only, Big Chris.
DJ Big Chris, the Grand Imperial Big Chris, aka the Walking Big Body.
This is From the Drive to the Driveway. We did it your way, now try it our way. Now sit back and have some fun, buckle your seatbelts, and let's have a conversation. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, fella?
What up, fellas?
What up, my bros? How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? How was your week?
Not
I
bad.
hope all was well. Today
Not bad,
was
man.
our last day. Today was our last day of
Oh,
a
for real?
full day. Yeah, brother. Today was our last day. First and foremost, before we start to talk, I want to start doing this every episode, just giving the Almighty Jesus Christ the glory. Thank you, Jesus, for everything. You're our Savior. You are everything, and without you, we're nothing. So I just want to give the
Thank you
Lord
for having us
just
here.
all the
Thank you
thanks,
for
all
having
the
us.
thanks. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
I
you
just
for
want to
having
give all
us
the
here.
thanks in the world, man. And
Thank you,
thank
Jesus.
you,
Hallelujah.
thank you, Lord. If it wasn't for the Lord, we wouldn't be
Christ
here.
be the
Everybody,
glory.
bless those who are watching today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Now let's have a conversation and let's have some fun and let's talk. Tonight's episode is on toxic masculinity. I was watching a couple. I'm really not into all the new terms and stuff like that when it comes down to toxic. I mean, all these new terms. I really wanted to, I wanted to like check in on what actually toxic masculinity really is. And I actually I looked it up and heard a couple people talk about it in the past, but I really never really, dove into it like I would want to. But as I researched it and looked it up, to me, I found like it was a crock of crap. Toxic masculinity, I just feel they're just trying to wipe out the real men race, man. I can actually say us, some of us three here, because I know us, like, because we're family. I can say like we are three of the last living real traditional real
Of the
men that's
dying
out
breed.
there. Yes, we're the last of a dying breed.
Yeah.
I just wanted to really touch on it today because they're basically saying like, and I could be wrong, but let's have a conversation. They're pretty much trying to say that being a real man is like
Don't exist.
one of the most terriblest things that we can really do. Meaning, if you're a traditionalist, meaning like they're saying like if we're too masculine, we shouldn't be like that. We should find our feminine side. And I don't know what a feminine side is, bro. I don't know what a
Yeah.
feminine side is.
Yeah,
I
I
only
don't
know what a
either.
man's side is.
That's it.
I was born. The Lord had me as a man, so that's all I can be, and that's all I know is to be a man.
It's
I
just
don't know any
that's
other.
all I
I
know.
don't know any other way. I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't-
any other way.
Wow. Yo,
I don't know
bow
anything
wow.
else. I don't know anything other than what you're saying. Like I don't know any other way to do this.
Yes.
I'm because I feel a certain way about certain things doesn't make me toxic. I just have a certain way. I have a certain faith. Why can't I practice that faith
Yes,
without
sir.
without being labeled, outside of what I am? I'm not toxic. I don't even if I'm toxic, I don't know what my father was.
Facts.
I talk about him all the time. I don't know what he was. If I'm toxic, my father would be right now. My father might be in the county just off words. To be honest,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's crazy to see. It's crazy to hear all the time, and it's crazy that we actually have to take time and debate these things. or it shouldn't even be something to be talked about. It's like that we got more problems. We got more pressing issues.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm
in
saying.
this
So
world.
it's kind of like you be danged if you do, you be danged if you don't. Now
Hey, you
there's
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. Would you have something to say? Go ahead.
Nah, I just want to make sure you hear me, man.
I know, but like we touched on some of this that what you have to say about it though.
Well, what, toxic masculinity?
Yeah, what we talking about? Like what you
Yeah,
think? Because we
man.
talk about this. We don't talk about it a lot, but we always talk about being a traditional man, real man, things like that.
I just think that today's America ain't with the cat left in the pasture. And
Okay.
everybody always picking and choosing, man, and doing stuff they ain't got no just saying stuff, toxic masculinity, man. I ain't with it. I'm old school. I'm from the '90s, man. I don't think what goes on today. I feel like we're in the Matrix, man.
Nah, real
You
talk.
know, and I'm just gonna keep it official like that. I don't subscribe to it, and I won't.
Absolutely. I always
I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. How my
forever.
father raised me in the 12, how he raised me in them 12 years, and what everything I know as a man from him from that 12 years.
Facts.
I don't plan on changing, and if you can't take realism, which that I'm a man, a real man, so you
But
can't take
see,
what I'm dishing. You don't need to we don't need to conversate or nothing, man. I'm good with that.
well, I know. Well, the debate is kind of like to be a real man is like they're from what I research and what they're saying is like for example, like if we're telling our sons to man up, to man up, that to today's the masses is a terrible thing to tell your kid, your son.
I I know they want them to cry. Oh, let it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
mommy,
understand.
mommy.
In most cases, I understand um showing some emotion. I do, but
Yeah, too,
Of
you
bro.
don't
course.
gotta make me cry. Like
Yes.
me not crying doesn't make me less emotional. Maybe I
Exactly.
just handle my emotions a little differently.
Yes.
But you can't you can't put it on me. Emotion. I mean, I watch movies sometimes. I get a little emotional.
Facts. There's
You
nothing
know,
wrong with that. Me as
especially
well.
you watch a scene. I'm watching a scene. I'm watching a movie about these guys in rowboats, and people believed in them. They got it done as a team. It's kind of emotional. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting
Yep.
there. Hold up, hold
How
up. They
about
got
how
the
about yo big? How about when GQ had pop?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what's wrong with the world, man. There's people like Corey out here pulling out above the rim, pulling above the rim scenes out.
yo. Yo.
You know what I'm saying? When GQ.
Yeah, man. Yo,
Uh,
that was juice.
was
Yeah,
that you?
GQ. Yeah,
Oh, okay, so I got it
I'm
mixed
talking
up.
about yeah.
Yeah.
That's you getting emotion. You know, you know.
Yeah.
You can't do none of these
But
things,
yo,
man.
Yo,
but
son,
but but
you need to chill. You need to chill. Son.
but what is but like why you can't my thing is why you can't tell your son to man up? What is so terrible about telling your son to man up if we're in like
But
as
man,
men we're competitive by default. That's in our nature to be competitive. So if we playing any type of like sport, ball, especially football, basketball, like that's what it's about, competitiveness. If you're not being competitive, if you're not being a competitor, and I feel like if I'm your dad and I know what you can give, why can't I tell you, you know what I mean? Hey, yo, son, it's time for you to man up. Like we here, you know what I'm saying? Like there ain't no reason for you to be
but
being
yo, I
scared
just
or falling back. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
but
There's
hear
no
it's this
reason for that.
era.
Let's give it. Let's. I know, but that's what I'm saying.
They wanna what's that term? What's that new term they use? Push everybody ahead. No kid left behind. Yeah. No kid left behind. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be soft, bro. This ain't no time to be soft. We got to raise. This is gonna be the future, man. You know. You can't have can't have a soft president, right?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. This is basically what this is talking about. Like, you really can't. You know what I'm saying? You really can't. They're saying like most of the things we talk about nowadays, especially like guys like us, the last of the Mohegans, they don't want us. They don't. What happened?
Too potent.
Yeah, but that's what they're saying. Like, is making is showing like boys like to be violent, to do bad things to people. I never understood that. Like, just because a real man is, you know what I mean. I'm not like going out there telling my son to do nothing to nobody or nothing like that. But if we in a competitive environment, then that's what we do. We become competitive. You know what I'm saying? If I see you acting other than yourself, I have to check that because I'm your father. There is no, you know what I mean? I deal with tough love at the same time. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Now, on the other hand,
there's nothing wrong with it.
So, but according to the masses of today, which is to me is feminism. They don't want that. They don't want it, but they want it. But see, that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, especially for black men, you be danged if you do, you be danged if you don't. If you're in the house with your wife and your kids, and if you are married and you do have kids, that's just not enough. You got the feminists. The feminists want you to abide by a lot of what they're saying in the home. They want you to bow down. So in the meantime, if you're a real one and you don't, that's when this title of toxic masculinity comes in play. You know what I'm saying? Because they're basically saying like, this is not tradition sucked and stuff like that. But I don't think so. Because this is why today, the way these guys are today is the reason why. Because there's not a lot of tradition no more. And I'm not, and again, and here's my disclaimer, I'm not necessarily talking about, like what a lot, what some people thought back in the day as what was toxic, as hitting women or abuse and stuff. I'm not talking about none of that. But just being present, being a strong man in a home and following the laws of the Bible of what Christ said. You know what I'm saying? Jesus said in its levels. You understand? And it's an order. And the order is man, woman, man being husband, woman being wife, and then the children.
Christ. Yes.
And just because I'm taking care of my children, raising my boys like men, and raising my daughter like a woman, there is no reason why it should be toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I look at it like raising young men is a very hard thing to do nowadays.
It's very difficult because of what's out there. There's so much out there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't have to deal with it right now because my boys are in their 30s.
Yes, sir.
But it's like I understand where you're coming from wholeheartedly because of what the influence is. And they're not even hiding that it's an influence. I'm sorry. I hit the button by mistake. They're not even hiding what the influence is because online they call them all influencers.
Yes, exactly.
So it's very difficult to sit and watch it and feel like, I still feel like I'm being singled out because I feel a certain way about a certain thing. Don't get the room full of anti-toxic male individuals because it's like, you're just toxic. You don't even. You didn't have
You're a
that
narcissist.
10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, there wasn't no time. What are you talking about?
Facts.
And then when you get upset, you kind of fall into their little trap.
Yep.
They
Yep.
call you
Yep.
toxic enough
Yep.
times, and then it's like, listen, my name is Christopher. A lot of people call me Big. You keep calling me toxic, we're gonna have an issue. See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yep. Yes,
No,
sir.
no, no, no,
Yes,
no.
sir. Yes, sir.
I'm just explaining to you what can happen if you continue to berate me by not calling me my name. I gave you
Fact.
my name. I gave you 3 versions of what to call me.
And one of them are not toxic.
Yeah,
Because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. Now,
You know?
I know I had some stuff here that I was gonna read to you, Corey, and you can tell me what it is. Okay. So let me start here. It says the perception that today's man with traditional values is seen as toxic can stem from various factors. That means, I know you know what that means, but let me try to explain it. Of what I get out of that is that the perception of individuals like us and what we believe, how we believe, why, and where can be perceived as toxic because it doesn't line up with what's going on and what they want men to be now. I don't want to conform to what men, that the man that you want right now, as far as the beliefs and faiths and how they carry a conversation even.
That's a fact.
And because I have that how two negatives, two magnets on the opposite side, they push away, because I push away from that and I just don't want to be involved with that. I'm considered toxic based solely on that.
Yes, sir.
That's not fair. That in itself is, you're explaining yourself,
yes, sir,
as toxic by pushing me into a group of toxicity.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And I look at it in the way of the reason why I think a lot of people, when they come up with this nonsense, I think what it is a lot of people don't have the Lord in their life no more, or if they
that's what I question, brother.
That's what I'm saying. I'm bringing it to the forefront because because when you're following the Lord, you know this is nonsense. Like, you know, and the Lord says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." When you trying to raise, like, again, when you're raising boys and young and females, because I have a daughter as well. I'm trying to be, with the help of my wife, I'm trying to help out too, as her father, be a father, a responsible male figure in her life. I'm trying to, make sure she's going in the right direction, and it's not to dictate her life, but I'm going to show her, like, this is what, look at your mother. That's a real woman. You know what I'm saying? Look at your dad. You got a real dad in front of you. You don't got to go looking for it or anything. And y'all could talk to my kids. They'll tell you my dad is tough as nails, but he loved me unconditionally, and my dad is always on my side. But so you mean to tell me just because I make my kid study, you know what I'm saying? Make my kids shower, make my kid greet their parents when they come in, or so you're gonna call that terrible too? Oh, what you gonna say next? Oh, you shouldn't make your kids say hello to you when they come in their home. So then like, you don't understand what I'm saying? So like, that's just like having them come in, because as we grew up, we knew what to say when we walked in our home.
Yeah, and it all has to do with this here. See, now this is a bill.
That's what's on the address. Exactly.
What you see, the name is my name on there. When you pay them,
that's a
fact. You come in here, you ain't got to speak to nobody, because I understand the stress level of having to pay those.
Yes, sir.
You feel me? So hey, listen, if it's okay, it's okay. If it's not, it's not. I can't conform, and I just don't understand how unfair it is if I can't feel a certain way
exactly
about a certain group, about a certain race, about a certain
Anything.
if I can't feel a certain way about a group of people, then how am I felt a certain way about because of how I carry myself?
My
It
point
doesn't
exactly.
it doesn't add up.
And this is
It's,
why we
it's
got to talk about
hypocritical.
this. Yes,
It's
it is.
hypocritical.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, I can go back to if y'all remember, like what one of the episodes of the Cosby Show when Denise came in there, she was old enough to drive. She wanted to drive. She wanted to go get a car and stuff. And she was pressing her mother and her father like, "Yo, listen, can y'all go get me my money out of the
Oh yeah,
bank?" You
I've
remember?
seen
She
that.
was like, "Yo, I want
Yep.
to make sure y'all give me my. I want to ask because I really want to buy this car." But they're explaining to her. They're explaining to her like, "Yo, listen, it's much more. How much money do you have in the bank?" And it was something like she had like $1,500, and I think the car was like 1,400. But then Cliff started to ask her like, "Okay, you have that money," and they're talking to her nonchalantly. She getting all irate, upset. It's my money. I don't understand why I can't spend my money. It's my money. So she started getting a little bit disrespectful to them. So you already know, like, Ma Dukes didn't play. Claire told her, like, "Yo, listen, I think you need to calm it down." Cliff told her kind of the same thing. So she kept going, and then she toned it down a little. And then Claire told her, like, "Yo, if you feel that's what you want to do, is take that little $1,500, you can get out and go explore America with your $1,500. You know what I'm saying?" And she toned all the way down, all the way down.
Of course.
But this is what I'm saying. So how is that? And this was the mom. It was both of them. It was a joint venture. Well, how is that considered like wrong for them telling her that? You know what I'm saying? Or the way they express because you can get out. You can take your $1,500 and hit the bricks. I tell my kids that every single day. When they start feeling themselves, I'm grown this and I'm grown that. If you're grown, why are you still here? If you feel a certain type of way, you can go out there and explore that billion square foot out there. You know what I'm saying? So just because you telling them about themselves, I feel the masses. I'm saying the masses because I'm talking about generally speaking. They think it's wrong, but then they don't think it's wrong when today, when kids is being mad disrespectful. I see it every day in my job description. There, back in the what about certain things back in the day, like you wouldn't do, especially when the streets we grew up. We grew up in a small city outside of New York City, 45 minutes to an hour outside of New York City. But New York City is the culture, so that's where our we that close, so that's what we deal with. So I could tell you, like, we could talk about this. We could tell you, like, on any block from Manhattan to Queens to Newburgh, with certain things you will not say to another person when you want and when you're in the street. Versus today, them same words we would never say is being said all day, every day,
All day, every day.
like it's a normal thing. Very disrespectful.
Yeah,
Very disrespectful.
Back then you get dumped on.
But this is what I'm saying. Today, the reason is they, you got the real ones in there, like I said, like us, the real fathers in our kids' life, versus these kids that grew up, that's growing up now. They just, some of them just really don't got no filter. They're very disrespectful. They're telling you they're telling you again a word like SMD, bro. You would never say that to a person. You would never say that. But being that I think the main reason why these guys are out here doing all this stuff because the one and let's touch on this too. The parenting sucks. You rather be you rather be the friend to your kid rather than chastise them and discipline them. You rather be your friend. You're thinking about all the time because sometimes I hear this playing when people playing around. oh, I don't want to be in a put in a nursing home. If being disrespectful is going to make me be in a nursing home, then put me in a nursing home. That's how I see it. Because I'm not going to take no disrespect
I don't
from
understand.
no child.
I don't understand that.
You
How
understand?
you bank? So you banking everything on what? What are you talking? Like what are they talk? What are
My
you?
point exactly,
I'm
bro.
not looking that far. Listen, I'm not looking that far ahead. I'm looking
No
to
way.
the point that you are outside your mind, and it has nothing to do with me being toxic, and
Not at
everything to
all.
do with me chastising my boys to make sure they grow up to be a better man than I was.
That's a fact.
I didn't just and listen. If I ever got out of line, I knew I would get it because the word was coming back to the house. I knew it. I already knew I screwed up. I knew it because I
Yep.
knew it was coming back down the chain. I knew there was somebody out there that was going to call my grandmama and tell her exactly what happened. Was going to call my pops. My pops was going to chastise me a little different, but I was going to get chastised, no doubt. And that what it did was no, it never stopped me from being outlandish every now and then. What it did was it made me fearful of doing it and the repercussions of that.
Yes,
It's
sir.
now that you don't have any repercussions. I watched three
Not at all.
boys with a scam in Florida on the internet machine. I call it the internet machine. On the internet machine, they had fraud. They were taking credit cards, buying gift cards, going to each Walmart. They didn't get them until they got to the last one. And the one that was 19 got charged. He had to do 67 days. So you take people's credit cards, you scam them number, they get jammed up. They take a hit on their credit. They got to clean that up. It costs money to do that. They got to go through all this rigmarole, and then the repercussion for you is
Yep.
67 days. And when you in that game 67 days, that's like going to that, come on, you serious? That's nothing. So
That's a
when
fact.
there's none of that, this is what you get.
This
So
is
when
what
there's
you
no
have.
repercussions at home, you don't feel like I said, at a certain age, I wasn't getting beat no more, but I still had that in the back of my mind. Like
Exactly.
I don't want to let these people down at
There
my
we go.
Of
house.
course. Of
But when
course.
you don't have that, then you get what you get out here. And at the
Yes,
same
sir.
time, you want you want people to be like they was back in the days. That's not going to happen. And because we believe in how we raise and how we talk to and how we treat and how we, chastise these kids, I'm not being toxic. I'm just being the same way I was. I thought this is what you want. You can't get it.
Exactly.
We can't get it the other way.
Exactly, bro. And but that's what I'm saying. Like, and in the households of today, man, that you can't win for losing. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know. Okay, can I be a father? Like, can I be a father, or can I, or do what do I do? It's like sometimes you got to second guess yourself.
It
You
makes
know
you
what I'm
second guess
saying?
yourself
I mean,
every
yeah,
single time. You feel
every
like,
single
okay,
time, bro.
how can I get this right? You're getting it right, man. You're
You know
getting
what
it
I'm
right.
saying?
Everybody else, they just, people are out of line, and because of the internet machine, people feel like they can actually say whatever they want to say to you about
Yep.
you.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Son,
What's that? What happened?
yo, come on, Big Chris. You said, "Oh, what is that? What happened?" But nah, but that's what I'm talking about, man. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, why, I'll go for like, what is the expectation of a real man then? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I would like
Poor,
to know.
poor, yeah, we can't see you.
Yeah, I know. I'll be right there in a sec.
You
You
know
on
what I'm
business?
saying? Like
I
for
had to run
like
real quick.
like what is the expectation? Like what do we do? Like you know what I'm saying? As far as being a man, and
It puts you in a
so
can't win for losing.
but that's what I'm saying, man. You can't win for losing because if you fall back and you be this, this hey, soft guy, I don't know what to call it, but that's what I call it. If you
Yeah,
turn
see,
around,
and that's where you're okay. You're toxic because you shouldn't be saying those kind of words.
yeah, my point exactly.
What are you talking about? Like,
But
what are you
that,
That's
talking about?
okay.
but I'm going to be me. Like I told my wife all the time, I'm going to be me. I'm a traditionalist with a little bit of evolution. You know what I mean? Depending on what you know, what I need to evolve to, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be evolving into today. I don't follow the world. I follow Christ. So for me to be going over here, you know, trying to make everybody happy. See, that's the thing. When you follow in the world, that's when you lose your soul. You know what I'm saying? You losing your soul because you follow in the world. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. I just feel I gotta follow Christ for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna and he said through love and kindness will you draw thee. So I'll work with that. Whatever the Lord tell me to do, I can work with that.
Pretty much.
But I'm not gonna be changed because the world sees me as one way.
Yeah.
Or they see real men that's boisterous, that's strong, confident. They see you as a tough guy or something like that, and then if you got kids or something, they think just because you tell your kid to man up, like that's something wrong. I don't believe that. I'm sorry, brother. I'll never believe that. I believe in tough love, bro.
It is honestly, to me, man, it is super hypocritical to have me or to tell me I should be doing something this way when you know that way's not gonna work.
Yeah,
I mean, are these my kids?
that's what I'm saying.
You
You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as
that's our future.
what happened?
I said this is, and like I said before, this is going to be our future. Just know that everything that the man can't do to a child in the house, you know, he get out there in the world and shame names and stuff like that. Then that's when it becomes, you know, a thing to the world. You know.
Yeah.
But like even now, and that's the other thing. I have a problem with like, they always trying to like label something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I said I don't follow the world, man. Like I'm like all these new names. Like I like to be neutral. Like I'm not. I don't call or nothing. I don't label everything. You know what I mean? I just wanted. I did this today because I'm tired of real men being bashed. Because again, as you be danged if you do, you be danged if you don't.
Every single time.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm a real father, I'm going to talk, and I'm chastising my son or my daughter. Like, don't say I'm a bad person because of it, because I'm not doing it the way you want me to do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the hypocritical part. It's like
that's what I'm saying.
You want me to do it, but you want me to do it your way, like
your way, why do I have to do it your way? Oh my gosh, you should do it this way. No. I'm building a confident person, whether you're male or female. When you see my daughter, man, my daughter is stronger than ammonia. You know what I mean? Her mentality, her work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Her work ethic is more than these boys. Most of these boys out here.
And that's that.
You know what I'm saying? Then they got it. Then all of a sudden now I'm looking it up as I'm still researching. They talk about something called hypermasculinity. It's an extreme expression of masculinity. Like what? Why is it extreme? Why does masculinity have to be extreme expression? What do you want us to be? If you don't want us to be men, then what do you want us to be?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So what the hell are we supposed to be? We running around here with penises in our pants. What the hell you want us to be?
I'm not sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't be nothing but what you got us to be as a man. It's like they getting offended because we dudes. Like how you getting offended because we supposed to act the way we? That's nature.
But you're being toxic with your masculinity. I believe if we think about it, and of course, I always play the advocate. If you think about what they're saying, I think, or what I'm getting out of it is, okay, you're using your masculinity to be a bully. Mm-hmm. You're bullying the situation because of with your masculinity. And And that part,
okay.
I can understand. Like I can understand where somebody would feel, and it's a shame. You know, you got a 6 foot black man come in, 280. Everybody in the room, ain't nobody in the room over 5'6". And if you're uncomfortable around larger individuals anyway, if you're uncomfortable around not your type of people, and I say not your type and not race because there are same races that live in different hoods and different nature of hoods and don't and are weary of those people from downtown or weary from those people from the west side.
Yeah.
And they come in and if you come in and you take over the room and you're bullying the conversation, you know, you're leading with your masculinity. That part I can understand, but at the same time, what you scared of?
But go in depth about what you talk about though, Big Chris. As
Okay, so
far as you take over the
say
room.
I'm in the room. I walk in the room. There's a lot of people in there. I'm really the biggest guy in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation is, let's say, turntables, something I actually know about. But because I know so much about it, it can be misconstrued that I'm using my masculine part, which me being a defiant figure, 6 foot, 3 and some change, black, from downtown, and I'm using all of that to manhandle the subject matter. And that part I can understand, but don't understand it. That it makes more sense to tell me that I'm manhandling the conversation than to just straight out call me toxic because I know something sort of more than you do, and I'm talking more in the conversation than you are. You understand what I'm saying now? Does that make sense? So,
yeah. But I don't think you think that's like, I don't know. I just think, is it because you, so what is it that you're just talking more and you're not letting somebody else chime
that's what
in?
I'm saying. Like, okay, if somebody comes in the room, if we have somebody on the call, and let's say they're an expert on masculinity, and we talk with 20 seconds, somebody on that side might think, wow, he came in on their call and he was throwing his masculine toxicity around and nobody could talk and he just took over the conversation. No, it's just an individual that just happens to know more at that certain time about the subject you're talking about.
Facts.
It doesn't that's just one way of misconstruing what's going on. You telling me I'm using my toxic masculinity just to give you the knowledge that you don't have because I'm bigger and I happen to be a man. But if a woman did the same thing, how is she using toxic masculinity? If I'm in the room and we can, I don't know so much about Corey, but me and Kurt, and there's no disrespect to you, Corey, me and Kurt could sit in the room and talk about women's shoes, quality of handbags, silks and linens and cashmere, and take a room over full of women and talking about this because sometimes in 8 out of 10 times we know more about that than they do.
Facts.
And that's because of the field we worked in. Not because we wear handbags and none of that. It's because of where we worked for so many years. We understand it. We understand what was made in third world countries that is made to look like it was made in Italy. We know all of that. We can decipher through the threads and all of that. So because we're in the room,
I was there.
Listen, what I'm saying, I said I don't know, but again, you cut me off one more time. It's gonna be something. If we take over that conversation, right, Corey, Kurt, if we take over that conversation, are we using our toxic femininity side because we know more about?
I got it.
You understand what I'm saying? So you're all over the place. So none of it makes sense because you're all over the place all the time.
Yes, sir.
With everything, you just use things. You use these new terms, and
I can't stand them.
in every situation, you know what? That's toxic masculinity right there. No, that's toxic femininity right there. That's toxic. No, that's toxic. You're all over the place. If you could just,
bro, all over.
We would have a better understanding of why you don't understand it if you would just pinpoint what you're talking about.
What you're talking, yeah, instead
I'm
of
not
being
just
all
talking.
over
I'm
the
not
place.
just talking for us three. I'm talking for a lot of people.
Generally, that's why I came up. That's why I wanted to talk about it tonight, because when I heard about it, I was just like, yo, and it's coming from the opposite. I'm gonna say that it's coming from the opposite people
Mhm.
who's saying this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not, just because I say a term like real men, is that has to be a bad term because I'm a real man and real men are tough. Just because I say I'm tough, because that's what it says in there, and that's like then they got the hyper masculinity. When you use too much expression on I'm being tough, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. What about back in the back in the caveman days? They didn't say nothing.
That's the one right there, though.
Yes,
The hyper is the one
the
for
hyper,
me, man.
bro. Like
It's
why?
the hyper.
Like
It's
why?
the hyper for me, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like hyper masculinity. Come on, dogs. Like, what are we doing here? Y'all literally trying to. I just feel like they want to just extinct the men and switch roles. You know what I'm saying? I do. They want us. They want to do what they want to do, and make us just be, just you be quiet. Let me run it, or you be quiet. You know what I mean? But bro, that's what it is. Because they're the only ones that's really like, you know what I mean? And when I got this, when I went to actually, look up some of the stuff, because where I got the title is from, like I said, your boy. I don't want it, like I said, a lot of stuff I don't, going forward, I don't want to get free promotion. But he had like he had a person on there, that like, the same, he had him on there, speaking and, saying about how his parents and his father didn't like who he was because he liked dudes and stuff like that. And he thought that was toxic masculinity from what he got from his father. But I'm just saying, like, I'm quite sure I'm speaking for most men. When you have, I guess this is what I'm about to say is toxic. Like most men think, like, dang, when I have a boy, yo, it's on, it's on. Like we gonna be out, playing paintball, football.
Yeah, you
know what I'm saying?
It's very hard to understand how I can be made to feel as if I'm being toxic because I had a dream of watching my boy play a sport.
Facts.
Or even if I'm tough on my child and I'm a lawyer and I want my son to be a lawyer, just as strong and definitive and a dragon slayer when he goes into court as I am.
That's a fact.
What's the problem? Listen, if I had a daughter and she wanted to play track, I'm sorry, and she wanted to run track, I want her to be the fastest, strongest, disc throwing, javelin jumping, triple jump as she could possibly be. I'm going to push her to the extent that she might want to give up. But once she understands that by getting to that point, that's going to make you better. How is that making me? How am I toxic? Because I want what she wants. This is what she told me. I want to go to the Olympics. Okay, there's only one way to do it. Let's look it up. We look it up, and guess what? You got to train 4 hours a day, every day. You still got to do your homework every day.
That's a fact.
You don't get to have as much fun. You're gonna have some fun, but you don't get to have as much fun as the other kids who just get to come home, do their homework for 15 minutes and go outside.
Yes, sir.
Now we working.
We working,
so
bro.
That's not That's not toxic. That's just me nurturing my son or daughter to what they want to be.
Well, the world don't want no more major pains, man. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, Cole. Facts. Facts. Dang, I should have put that on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, because they feel like when you making them stand up for themselves, stand up like a man, like you know what I'm saying? They can't. Look, oh my God, look what he's doing to the. He's making them do push-ups, and he won't stop. So I don't know, man. The world we live in today is a bad place, bro. It's like the word says, worldly, man. Everybody live worldly. They don't know God. Once they start knowing who Jesus Christ is, man, maybe digging into that word, maybe they can come out of their ways, man. So that to me. The answer is and always will be Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
And that's what the Lord said, man. Like, you have to deny yourself. This is where this all comes from. Let's go biblically now. And the Lord said, in order to follow him, you must carry your cross and deny yourself daily. So again, this is where it comes where people don't want to do that. So
Absolutely.
they start making their own way. And the Lord said this also.
Understanding.
Bang. That's what he said. Lean not onto your own understanding.
Hallelujah.
But to me, like you come to me. And that's the problem. So a lot of times this is where all this stuff is coming from. It's coming from worldly things, ignorance, but it's the Lord. You don't want to go by the order of the Lord. That's why I said it's the other half, that's the opposite half, that's coming up with a lot of these things nowadays because they have a platform. And with the Lord, again, this is why the Lord said the road is wide, but the gate is narrow about people going to heaven. That gate is so narrow. He said even the righteous, it's going to be tough for even the righteous to get in. You understand? So but that road, that's all this worldliness. That's making all these titles because they want to do it their way and not the Lord's way. They don't want to follow the order. They don't want to pick up the cross and carry it daily. They don't want to deny themselves daily. So that's why and we could touch on this another time with, what I'm about to say, but I ain't going to go far into it. But this is why you have a lot of cults, a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Course,
a lot of different places. And this is when all these other things start to come about. You know what I'm saying? So when you're going against Christ, that's what you do. You just saying to yourself, that's why the Lord said, no one's good. No one's good but the Lord. Only God is good. Only God is good. So you out here trying to do this and do this. That's why the Lord give you a choice, man. That's why he said, deny yourself daily, you can come follow me. If you don't, then you could be part of that wide road. And this is why, he said they persecuted me first. Always remember that, he said. They persecuted me first. So that being said, man, when we got to deal with this because the Lord dealt with way much more. So he said you got to be, you know what I'm saying? So when you got to be, he said they're gonna hate. He said they hated me first. He said they hated me first. So for us to continue to you know what I'm saying? We just got to endure to the end. You understand? And I just wanted to put that out there. That's why we go through what we go through, because we still we striving to and we striving to go toward Christ and not against him. So we're gonna have to be steadfast and unmovable. And he said the only one that's making it to heaven is the one that endures to the last. So I put that on us to endure to the last with this stuff. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty more where this came from, bro. And this is just the beginning.
That's all it is.
It's a problem because people rather have their heaven here.
My point exactly.
Believe in hell. They don't believe in hell.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? If they read that word and see that screaming, it's never going to come to an end. You're going to be screaming, gnashing of teeth. You're going to suffer. And because this today is what that is, man.
Yes,
sir. It's a lot of blasphemous people that don't give a damn, and that's why we are living in. Come on, man. Look what the topic is. Toxic masculinity. When the hell Can we stop being a man? We can't. We born a man. Like, it just is. They making all these excuses for these niggas that suck on the all the time. You know, I'm tired of it, man. You know, believe in Jesus, man. Everybody on that tip. And then, you know, the ones that it's like our employment, man. No kid left behind. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's error is tore up because they don't have Jesus, man. And that's just solidly what I'm trying to say.
Just got to do better.
Jesus, they got to do better, man.
Got to do better. You got to do better. You can't get the blue ribbon when you came in the yellow place, man.
That's right.
You were slow and chubby, Chris. We ain't going to buy you no blue ribbon. What? You put that yellow ribbon up on that mantle and eat this piece of cake and be happy with that. Find something you good at. You know, I start breakdancing. Only problem was I broke dance in church in the basement over there. Mizan got the blue ribbon and a piece of cake. Went home and got a whole butt whooping.
Oh yeah, the usher board.
How is you gonna be dancing in the church? I'm a bitch. My grandfather a bishop. You know, you got the same last name as me, boy. You in the church dancing. I show you blue ribbon straight in the garbage. You know,
what you got? A little bit of that usher board.
I got a little bit of that 60-inch calf skin belt.
Yo, you said the calf skin.
Yeah, that calf skin with that black buckle. He wasn't brutal enough to hit me with the buckle, but that belt.
Be careful.
You couldn't get away from
it. Be careful saying that. You know that's toxic masculinity.
Yeah. Hey,
when you talk about a belt. Now I'll touch on one more thing. Like so you already know. Like I'm a basketball head. You know, coached it for over 20 years. My boys, my sons, they played it, still play it. I still play it, but I have no love for it today. So I got a kid. I'm in the gym today. I got this kid. I'm just explaining to him. He nice. The kid is nice. He's 25. He nice. And because I met him like a couple months. I would say probably like maybe about 6 months ago in the gym. And he came in. It was like 3-on-3. We started playing. And I was seeing like his jump shot. I was like, dang, this dude do not miss. I'm not really like real talk. Like I'm one of the main dudes at that gym. I've been going to that gym over 15 years. Long story short. So I'm like, dang, when this kid, and he's shifty, he don't miss. 3-point mid-range, nothing. All net. I'm like, yo, this kid shoot like me. And I don't say that, you know what I mean, to say, but I know this is what I do. So I was like, yo. So, you know, he started explaining himself that time and stuff. So we've been balling back and forth for the last couple months. And today he came in when I was in there. I was just shooting around. He came in. We just started chatting and stuff. And then he was just like pretty much like, for me to be an older dude, I'm decent and good. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, dang, man, you nice to be older. But you don't look it. But he's like, yo, for your age, and you telling me, like, yo. But I was telling him, like, yo, man, listen, you got to watch out for my son because my son is, you know, my youngest. My oldest son was mad nice. My youngest son is good, too. But I said he could be so much better if he learned how to listen. You know what I'm saying? But I said, but me saying that is pretty much saying, like, he never listens to me. And it's hard to be a father in the game teaching your kid. Because I'm tough. I was extra tough on my oldest son, but it was for a good, you know, but a good tough. But I said, with this guy, I'm not going to do that because he got to show and prove. And he's right now, he's raw. He's 6'2". He's 14, 6'2". He could do all the intangibles, but it's raw talent. So what I'm coming to is when I'm talking to a homie, I'm telling him like, yo, I can't stand the sport of basketball no more. I went from playing it to coaching to training. And I don't want to do nothing else no more. And he was just like, dang, man. He was like, you so good, though. He was like, you good. Why you don't be joining the 30 and overs and stuff? I was like, because I don't like it like that. He's like, dang, man. He was a little bit, like, frustrated with me because he was just like, dang, but you that good. And he's like, you should be playing. But he's like, I understand. He said, that's a shame, though. The generation made you hate it. I said, yeah. I said, because I look at it when I'm spending a lot of money on my son, Every weekend we traveling to far places, Boston, Baltimore, anywhere we go. We traveling far places, spending a lot. My wife and I are spending a lot of money on travel, food, our time. We can never get back that time again. So all I ask, if you ask me, you say you locked in, is I need to see your highest level of play when you in these places, and I don't see it all the time. So I got to be so because I'm telling him that basically is that me telling him like, yo, you have to step it up, play tough, play hard, play like you want to be here. So is that bad to say? Is that being toxic? Is that you know what I mean? So what am I supposed to say if my kid, if I'm spending $1,000 every weekend, hotels, gas, money, clothes, hotel, gas, food, and the venue itself? So you mean to tell me because I'm telling him that he got to play hard and focus? That's too tough. That's my thing. I don't think that's too tough, man. I think he got to give back on the investment. If you say you locked in, then lock in, and let's see what you can really do. Not being consistent, huh?
Pretty much, that's it.
That you know what I mean? But sometimes, I feel like, he think I'm too tough because I'm telling him that, and I'm just like, no, I think you're too tough for making me do this. So is that toxic for me telling him that though? Like, you know what I'm saying? I flip it back on him. I think it's too tough that you making me travel Friday nights coming from work. We got to get on the road and pay for hotel stay and travel for hours at a time to get you to your basketball venue and your tournaments and stuff, and then you come out subpar.
Your cancel culture is bullies.
That exactly.
Listen, man,
Exactly.
It's crazy you say that because, like I told you, man, my father would be, he'd be in front of the Senate right now. I made the JV team without playing freshman or 7th and 8th. I made the JV team, right? And my father knew if your name was in the paper, that means you got in. So I had a game. I had the penetrators. If you want to know what they look like, look them up. It was the plainest Nike sneaker in '84. I had the penetrators, right? And my sister went and bought me the Uptowns. I had the high top Uptowns with the silver strap, mesh in between with the silver swoosh. I got in the game. When my father read the paper, it had 4 eggs on it. When I say 4 eggs, everything
0
points, rebounds, assists, fouls. And I'm not gonna say what he said. You ain't even foul a mother. And he said, I tell you what we're gonna do. You go ahead and get them new Nikes. He took my Nikes and took them in the basement and gave me back my penetrators and said, you wear these. He said, you wear these till you can get some numbers up. When you get some numbers up, you can get these other sneakers back. In today's world, that would be toxic.
Uh-huh.
And my mother might have even gave them back to me to play in them. Because sometimes you don't get the support on the other side. So when you tell me you get the support and she right behind you the whole way, feel the same way, I know it to be true because I've been there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But that would be constituted as toxic right now to this day. I couldn't get them Uptowns back until the Mount Vernon game.
Oh, nice. Did you put something besides the 4 eggs on there though?
I was averaging about 6-7 points.
Okay.
Not bad.
But what was the mentality about though? Why was
it? It was because if you're gonna get in the game and you're gonna come home with 4 eggs, that means you're not pushing yourself because you better.
No. I'm asking your mentality. Why wasn't you being conducive?
Scared, unassertive. Not really tapping into what I could actually do. Running around, having fun on the court. Going for steals. Reaching instead of playing good D. That's how I ended up with 3-4 fouls. How you gonna almost foul out the game? You ain't got not 1 point. So
yes, sir.
You don't want to be that, and that's what anything that you're trying to do. You don't want to put a half tail effort to pour, towards it, because the outcome is not going to be what you want. You know how gifted and talented you got to be to slow roll it and still do well. And then if you slow roll and you still do well, guess what? You still slacking because you could be that much better at whatever it is you're doing. What you making? What you making trays for lunch? Corey, what's all that noise? You making trays for lunch?
Oh. Now that's my family over there.
Okay.
My bad.
All right. Yeah, but today's world, we can't be that forceful on the kids, because then we're using the situation that I explained earlier, where I'm in the room and I know everything. I'm a father. Sir. I know more than this boy because he's my son. There's no possible way he knows more. So I'm not using my toxic masculinity to tell this individual what he should be and could be doing. I'm pushing him to get to a certain place. It's not toxic. It's just a man teaching a man to be a man. And what's wrong with that?
I was just about to say, and what's wrong with that, bro?
So see how America do? But they'll say all of that, but then look what when the cops do that to us, what you call that? You know what I'm saying? When they just emptied the clip on a boy in a restaurant. That ain't right. Emptied the whole clip. That's toxic. That's toxic masculinity. If you really want to talk about toxic masculinity, that's what toxic masculinity is.
Yeah. And you know
that's
the thing with
now that's hyper.
Now the situation. When I look at the situation with police, because I know some police, I know some families with police. Some of these police got families at home. Some of them have the best intentions, but for me, you know, and I don't want no trouble. But what I'm saying is, when you sign up, like if you sign up for the firemen, they make you carry them dummies up the ladder
all day long.
If you can't get them dummies up the ladder, you can't rock out. So with the police, if you know that you can't handle pressure, you can't train pressure. You can train how to react in pressure. If you folded your whole life under any kind of pressure, you're gonna continue to fold your whole life. Where you gonna get the heart from?
Real talk.
You're gonna pray on it, get right. You know, maybe you'll do better if you follow procedures or whatever they call them. But I don't understand how you could be so volatile in a situation and in a career that causes you to be able to handle that volatility. You can't do it. I don't understand it. Like if you got nerves of eggshell, you can't be a performer, because at some point, if you're good enough, you're gonna be in front of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. And if your nerves are thin as eggshell, guess what? Something's gonna break. You can't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna break. And I know that it's tough out there, because I know people are fed up with everything. People are fed up with everything. It could be a man that had everything before the pandemic, came out the pandemic with nothing, no wife, no kids, no house, no car, nothing. And he's just fed up. And I know you got to deal with him, and I don't. I don't have to deal with him. You do.
Yes, sir.
But how do you handle that? And again, in every situation, we got to look at it and understand what happened. But I know for sure, if a police shoot me in the thigh, you ain't got to shoot me again. I've had people tell me you don't ever want no hot lead inside your skin whatsoever.
That's right.
You know, I get upset when it's too hot in the car and I got shorts on and hit the vinyl when I get in. No, I don't want no parts of it. So I mean, hey, listen, we can pray for them.
That's enough to break the windows.
Continue to pray for them. Hey, listen, I seen that happen. That's a true story. I seen that happen. Hey, this is no lie. This is in the 70s. My grandfather over the windows broke because of the heat.
Really?
We parked out the church about 9 o'clock. Came outside about 2:30 because church was about 6 hours back then. And went to open that car door and that thing shattered. What? Go get a dozen eggs. We're gonna fry them right here on this hood.
Dang, Brody.
Yeah, I seen that. But yeah, all we can do, man, to make a long story short, man, is continue to pray for them, man. Those guys do a very difficult job, man, especially the firemen.
Yeah, for sure.
They see so much hurt, harm, and danger, man. It's You know,
I
it's
agree.
crazy.
I agree
Christ
with
bless
that.
them all.
Crazy. But
Christ
again,
bless them
when
all.
you sign up for that, man, you know what you kind of know what you're getting into, man. And they can put it in movies and romanticize it all they want to, man. But when I see it, this is the true story. If any police that ever see me on a video that I actually did this, when I see them, I say thank you. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
If I see a police at the restaurant or at the gas station inside or something, hey, how you doing? Hey, it's crazy out there, man. Be safe. Thanks. And I keep it moving. I don't get no long conversation. I just tell them it's crazy out there. I know it's crazy. Be careful. Be safe. And thank you. I
Yes, sir.
say that to the armed forces. They didn't know what they
All
signed
day.
up
Me
for.
too. Me too.
Hey, thanks again, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
I tell my little guys at the job the same thing when they going. I just tell them always remember who you are and thank you, in advance. And we appreciate you, man. You know what I mean?
It works. It
But
works
Christ first.
for more than it works for. Going into services works for more than it doesn't work for. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the people it don't work for, but for the majority, it works for them.
Yeah.
It does. It does. Hey, listen, man.
But yeah, man. So I think this was a good discussion. It's time to wrap it. I will say this. Thanks again for everybody who decided to join us today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, the three wise men. Sight. We just men, man, just trying to just have fun with it. But also do me a favor, please join in every Thursday, 7:30. Please
toxic
share.
masculinity. Toxic
Please.
masculinity.
Share, comment,
Toxic
subscribe.
masculinity. Toxic
Again,
masculinity,
oh,
nigga.
got you. But let's please share, comment, subscribe. There's much more where this came from. I appreciate you guys and everything for tuning in. And we're out. Thank you again.